So we're meeting up with a guy today who's got a really cool name, and he's 81 years old, $1,500 budget, and he's living below it as he's a nomad. We're in Saranda, Albania, and by the way, I'm Warren, this is Julie, and we're meeting up with a guy named Warren.
So join us.
Welcome.
Hey,
nice to see you both.
Nice to see you, other Warren.
The other Warren.
Yes.
Yes.
We're a rare breed.
Thanks for having us.
So this is your place. It's a one bedroom,
Yes.
and you're spending how much to spend per month here?
$450.
And that's utilities included?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to take a quick look here for the viewers. So you got a really spacious bathroom. It's got a big shower head up there, and
Great water heater for one person.
looks like there's a washing machine also, and
Yes.
a microwave right there. Kitchen table. You got a full-size refrigerator, which is great, and good-sized freezer looks like on there. Kitchen with the oven, 4-burner, and then a good-sized living room. L-shaped couch, and then TV. You got a balcony out here and a sea view. We'll come back out there in just a moment. So we have a bedroom, and is the bed comfortable?
So.
So.
Memory foam?
Memory foam, thank
Okay.
you. Which I don't like.
Oh, okay. So
This is much more comfortable.
and that's
hard.
that's why Julie travels with a mattress topper just in case. And then out here we have the sea view, and so it's got some restaurants across the way. So you're in the middle of some areas with some dining. There's the Apollon Hotel across the way as well, and then nice view out there into the water. This is all of your luggage right here.
That's it.
That's what you live out of. Your
I do.
Your computer bag and that backpack. That consists of all of your clothes and your life.
That's right.
That's
Certain
awesome.
papers that I've had to keep, goes with
Incredible.
me.
That's fantastic.
Well, that's why I mentioned it, because people are always amazed at that.
No, that's huge. That's huge. That's so little. Okay, so everybody, I'm really happy to be hanging out with another Warren today. We are such a rare breed. I ran into Warren in the D&D's bar here in Saranda, Albania. He recognized us from our YouTube channel. After I heard his name was Warren, I said my name is Warren. I'm like, oh, I know I know you. So it was really cool to find out that, okay, this Warren is a viewer, and we actually communicated a couple years ago, apparently.
Yes. I've been kind of a professional student all my life.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 degrees and kept going even after that. I've had 3 major careers, which for 6 years ran simultaneously. Had my hands full. I'm a retired ordained clergyman with a music ministry, organist, choir master. Did that for 30 years. For 40 years, I've been a book dealer. Owned and operated 2 bookstores and sold online.
Wow.
And then the 3rd career, I was a data manager in medical research. So I've had a varied career.
Incredibly
Yeah.
varied.
Yeah. That's good. And you said a musical ministry.
Yes.
So are you playing instruments?
I was an organist for 35 years, 50 years
wow.
actually.
Okay. Now that's quite interesting. So your website, I'm going to throw some screenshots up here. What would you like people to make sure that they notice about your blog, and any particular articles of interest or time frames that you think it would be interesting for people to jump into?
Well, there's a listing at the beginning of the locations of my blog. So if you're interested in, say, a particular country, you could zero in on my post for that country.
Warren, you're an intrepid traveler doing this stuff at 81 years of age, and you have no signs of deciding that you're going to call it quits and go back to the U.S. at any time?
I'm not ready for a rocking chair, no.
Okay. Yeah, we've heard that before.
That
Yes.
recently, yes.
Yes. So
No, I have no intention of going back to the United States.
That's great.
There's nothing there for me.
well, we get people that are like, oh, well, don't need to go back to the U.S. when it's time for medical care. Do you what do you think about the medical care overseas?
I had medical issues when I was living in Ecuador, and I had one hospitalization. I've had 2 or 3 medical events.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent and cheap. So much less expensive than the United States.
Yes. And still good care, as
Yeah.
you said.
Oh, I did. It was
Yeah.
very good care.
Medical care doesn't stop at the border. You know, we just did a video with a couple 80-year-olds that are 83 and 84-year-olds, and they went down to Antalya and had some procedures done. And I'm going to go ahead and list them right here. They went down to Antalya, Turkey, and she had sent me a text and was so happy that we had told them about Antalya and had some stuff done down there. And they don't stress about the medical care overseas either. So if that's holding you back from achieving your dream, is that you're thinking there's no medical care outside of the United States, there is.
It really does show. I mean, we've had 3 people. It's not too late to explore the world, to live the best life you possibly can.
Yep.
In Panama, we had a Johns Hopkins hospital. I mean, that's as good as America. You can't
Yeah.
get any better than that.
Yeah, and the cost is
Much lower than
a fraction.
America, too.
Yeah, your out of pocket is going to be less than probably what most of your expenses will be in a lot of cases on your max out of pocket on your insurance policy, that on your typical coverages back there.
And I know we've had a lot of people ask us recently, in Saranda, do you find that the public transportation is possible? You know, you don't have a car, so are you able to get around here in Saranda and see things, or do you just walk? What do you do?
I walk. I've never used public transportation in Albania.
Okay.
I used it very rarely in Ecuador. In Panama, when I was living up in the mountains, I would have to come down on a little bus, which was a hoot in itself.
Yeah, but so this is a fairly walkable area here in Saranda. I mean, there's some stairs and some hills, but for the most part, you can take a fairly flat walk all the way along the coastline.
Oh, yes.
And
It's a great way to get exercise. I do that once or twice a day even.
yeah. I met you over at D&D's or Dick and Devil's bar here in Saranda, and that is roughly almost 2 kilometers or about 1.5 miles from here. So
Yes.
you did that each way.
Yes.
So that's a good walk.
I do 10 to 12,000 steps a day.
That's great.
That's excellent. Fantastic. You are living a nomad life,
I am.
and
That's
you're
awesome.
and you're originally from where?
Originally from Minnesota, in the United States.
And what made you decide that you wanted to become a nomad and travel?
Well, I left the United States for the reasons that most people do. I wanted a lower cost of living.
Yeah, and so it was about 2.5 years ago that you
Yes.
decided to hit the road,
Yes.
and you're a slow traveling
Yes.
nomad. You're spending 450 euros for your place here. What has your previous months here in Albania cost?
I come in on under $1,000 a month.
That's
That is incredible.
and that's something I could understand. When I met him over at D&D's here, the little bar, I had I call it 2.5 beers because 2 big beers and a smaller beer cost 700 or 600 lek, which would have been less than $7. So it doesn't cost a whole lot to get by here. And are you eating out a lot?
I don't. I tend to cook myself at home.
Okay. So your groceries are not that expensive here?
No, not really. I mean, last month they went to $900, and that was way up from my norm.
Okay.
I
So
don't know how that happened, but it did.
so your groceries are 900, or everything total?
life.
Your life was $900.
Everything was $900.
Everything was $900, so not even $1,000 then. So when we look at your budget, you're trying to stay under a certain threshold per month as you travel?
Right. My budget is $1,500 a month, or $18,000 a year, and I come in always way under that.
You've got Social Security, but you've got a travel blog you're doing also.
Yes, but that's not monetized.
You're showing your what's happening in your life basically on this travel blog.
Right. It covers the last 2.5 years.
So where have you been the last 2.5 years?
Well, I left America and went to Panama, and I was there for 9.5 months, long enough to get a permanent visa. So they have to let me in if I go back. And an interesting experience, I lived in a yurt up in the mountains for 3 months because I couldn't find anywhere else to live.
Oh, wow.
It's such a tight housing market.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was kind of
What was the yurt costing per month?
Well, actually, that was $500. It was one of my more expensive ones.
Oh, wow. So the yurt in Panama was 500, then you have this one here for 450.
Yeah,
So
and I was in Ecuador for 13 months, and that was $450
yeah,
for a 2-bedroom.
So if you were trying to live on $1,500 a month in the United States, would you have any options?
No,
Yeah,
I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where in the U.S. So you can have a pretty good quality of life as outside the U.S. And you're doing this as a nomad, so you're traveling and seeing the world and seeing places. And you are a fairly young guy too, right? You're like what, just in your early 80s?
Yeah, I'm just about to turn 81.
You're 81. You've been doing this for 2.5 years. So basically, you were 78, 79 when you decided to hit the road, when most people aren't.
This time.
Yes. So
I've done this before.
Okay, so you knew it was doable.
Yes.
And how long ago did you do this in the past?
It would be about 12 years ago. I was on the west coast of the U.S. wanting to make a change and not knowing where to go. So I put everything in storage, got in a little truck, and just started driving east. And I finally made it to the East Coast 4.5 months later.
Okay, so that was in the United States then,
Yeah.
going from coast to coast as a
I've been
nomad.
to 48 states.
The 2 states you're missing?
Hawaii and West Virginia.
Okay, and I can understand Hawaii is a pretty long swim from California.
Yes.
So, I myself am missing Maine and Montana. So, maybe at some point in life we'll both get to our missing states. You're spending time here in Albania for another 2 months.
Yes.
What areas are you considering going to next?
Serbia and Bulgaria and North Macedonia.
Are you particular cities in those locations that of interest?
Novi Sad in Serbia and Bansko in Bulgaria.
Okay, we got
Lake
videos.
Ohrid.
We got videos on all of those.
Yeah.
So very good. You've lived life through the Cold War.
Yes.
You've seen things from the angle that this was a land that we as Americans would never tread upon. That this was off limits. It was hostile governments or not places we would be. How do you feel about traveling through some of these countries and their attitudes towards Americans in these foreign Cold War communist nations?
I've had no problems with that. I've felt welcomed in these countries, and I've come here because Western Europe is just too expensive. Eastern Europe, Southeastern, is reasonable.
And what about safety?
I have never felt safer than I do right now in Albania. I've had no problems with safety wherever I've been.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I also never have problems with safety wherever I go because I've got the warrior princess. She has got the ha-cha moves you would not believe. That I know that regardless of where I tread, if Julie's by my side, she's got her butt kicking boots on, and I'm good to go.
Well,
but you don't have that all the time. So you're out here running around solo. You don't have a Julie to protect
but
you.
I'm a low profile guy, so I don't get into skirmishes.
No. Nobody will mess with me just because of her. So. If you wrote a couple books, what were those books about?
I write nonfiction. 2 were travel related, 2 were religion, and 2 were music.
Okay.
5 of the 6 are ebooks, so you can get those most anywhere. A lot of sites
Okay.
carry those.
Okay. Oh, if they go to your blog, will they be able to find your books?
I have them listed there, yes.
Okay. So we're glad that we bumped into you. And I'm
Well,
sure
I am too.
that you'll be an inspiration to some people that are thinking that they can't get out and travel, especially those that maybe are single, you know, that you don't need to have somebody to walk you by the hand and take you on the journey. If you want to do it, you can do it yourself.
That's right.
Thank you everybody for joining us today. And as a reminder, Julie and I, we're traveling the world with our 2 dogs. We're trying to see what it's like to live in other countries, other places. We're trying to share our experiences and expenses as well as those of other expats and nomads that we run into along the way with you. So we hope that you're going to subscribe, give this video a like, and until next time, have a great day everybody. Bye-bye.
Ciao.